Nico tightened the straps of his flight suit as the small scouting ship hummed softly. He had flown through many sectors of the galaxy, but this edge world was uncharted. Sensors blinked faintly, warning him of unstable energy readings. He adjusted the controls, his eyes scanning the vast darkness ahead. The stars stretched like silver threads across the black sky. Suddenly, alarms blared. Red lights flashed and the ship shook violently. Nico swore under his breath as he fought to stabilize the controls. Rogue raiders appeared on the radar, small ships darting in unpredictable patterns. They moved with precision, their energy weapons charging. Nico realized he had been detected long before he could react. He pushed the ship's engines to the limit, weaving through the asteroids that crowded this section of space. Despite his skill, one of the raiders fired a pulse that struck the hull. Sparks flew and the ship shuddered violently. Warning lights filled the cockpit. He knew he could not outrun them. He activated the emergency thrusters and aimed for the planet below. The atmosphere was dense, filled with clouds of violet mist. The ship broke through the clouds, shaking as it descended. Trees unlike any Nico had seen before loomed beneath him, their leaves glowing faintly. Giant vines twisted around enormous rock formations. A river of luminous water wound through the forest like a ribbon of light. He aimed for a clearing, but a large branch tore through the hull. The ship spun and crashed, sending a wave of debris into the air. When Nico opened his eyes, he lay among splintered metal and torn vegetation. Pain throbbed in his shoulder, but he forced himself to stand. His ship was ruined, and the strange forest stretched in every direction. He checked the scanner. No raiders remained in orbit, for now he was alone. Nico began to move cautiously, keeping an eye on the strange wildlife. Birds with translucent wings floated like lanterns above the trees. Small creatures with shimmering skin darted through the underbrush. Every sound felt amplified. He had learned to trust his instincts. The forest seemed alive, and it watched him with quiet attention. Hours passed as he navigated the alien terrain. Then in the distance he heard a cry. It was high-pitched and panicked, almost human in tone. Nico's heart beat faster. He ran toward the sound, moving as quietly as he could. Through the trees he saw her. A young alien girl, pale blue-skinned with silver hair that shimmered like moonlight. She wore a tunic embroidered with intricate patterns, clearly of royal design. Her eyes were wide with fear as a pack of predators stalked her. 4 of them, large and muscular, with fangs glinting under the forest light. Their movements were swift and they closed in fast. Nico had no weapon, only a broken communicator and his instincts. But he knew he could not let her die. He grabbed a fallen branch and rushed forward. The predators turned at the sound and charged. Nico swung the branch with all his strength. It cracked against one of them and the creature yelped in surprise. He shouted, "Go! Run!" The princess did not hesitate. She sprinted forward, stumbling slightly over roots and rocks. Nico stayed close, using the branch to block the predators. They lunged at him, jaws snapping, claws striking. He ducked and rolled, swinging with precise timing. Somehow he managed to keep them at bay. When one predator leapt at the princess again, Nico jumped, catching it midair with a force he did not know he had. He pushed it to the ground and struck it down with a sharp kick. The other predators hesitated, sensing something different about him. Nico realized the moment could not last. He needed a plan. He spotted a cliffside nearby, a narrow ledge above a rushing waterfall. "This way," he shouted, grabbing the princess's hand. Together they ran, climbing the rocks with speed born from desperation. The predators followed but struggled to keep pace. At the edge of the cliff, Nico found a natural crevice. He pushed the princess inside, motioning for her to hide. The predators approached the edge but could not follow. They growled, their eyes gleaming, then slunk back into the forest. The princess leaned against the wall of the crevice, trembling. Nico knelt beside her, catching his breath. "Are you okay?" he asked. She looked at him with wide, astonished eyes. "You saved me," she said softly, her voice tinged with awe. I thought I was done for." Nico gave a small smile, brushing dirt from his flight suit. "Instinct," he said simply. "I didn't think. I just did what I had to." She studied him carefully. "I am Princess Arya," she said. "You have bravery unlike any I have seen. No one in my world would dare face those creatures like you did." Nico nodded. "I'm Nico, I'm just human." Arya's eyes widened. "Human?" she repeated. She had heard stories of humans, but they were considered weak in her galaxy. Yet this human had protected her from certain death. They did not have long to rest. The forest grew quieter. almost unnaturally so. Nico's scanner picked up something large moving nearby. He motioned for Arya to stay still. From the shadows emerged a patrol of sleek armored figures. They moved with precision and purpose, scanning the area. Nico realized they were the Queen's Guard. The princess gasped. "They will protect me, but if they find you, you will be in danger." Nico rose, brushing off leaves. "Then we need to reach them before the predators return." They ran through the forest carefully, avoiding fallen trees and glowing plants. Hours seemed to pass, but finally they reached a clearing. In the center, a massive palace rose, shimmering with light. Its towers curved elegantly toward the sky, and the walls were carved with intricate symbols that glowed faintly. The guards spotted them immediately, moving to surround them. The leader stepped forward, a tall figure with luminous eyes and silver armor. He looked at Nico with suspicion. "Who is this human?" he demanded. Arya stepped forward boldly. "He saved me. He is brave. He is with me." The guards hesitated, then allowed Nico to approach. They led him into the palace, passing halls filled with strange artwork and glowing symbols. Nico marveled at the alien architecture. It was beautiful, unlike anything he had seen before. Finally, they reached a grand chamber. Sitting on a throne was a woman taller and more commanding than anyone Nico had ever seen. Her skin was a deep blue, her hair silver and flowing. Eyes like twin moons fixed on him with intense curiosity. This was Queen Zarya, mother of Princess Arya. "Human," she said, her voice calm but powerful. "You have protected my daughter. Few in this galaxy would risk their life for an alien. Why did you do it?" Nico straightened. "I don't fight for politics or titles. I fight for what is right." She was in danger and I could not stand by. The Queen's eyes narrowed slightly, studying him. "Instinct and courage," she murmured. "Two qualities rare among humans." She rose, her presence overwhelming the room. "You will not leave this planet until I know your intentions. You have skills that may prove useful, but I must see if your heart is as strong as your actions." Nico realized his journey had changed. He had expected to explore, to map new worlds. Now he was part of a larger story, one that would challenge not only his skill but his very understanding of courage and humanity. Princess Arya smiled faintly at him. "You have done more than save me, Nico. You have proven that humans are capable of great bravery, perhaps even more than some of us had imagined." Nico nodded quietly. He did not know what the Queen had planned, but he knew one thing. He would protect the princess again, no matter the danger. Outside, the forest whispered in the wind. Somewhere beyond the palace walls, unseen forces were moving. Nico felt the weight of the galaxy pressing on him. Yet for the first time, he also felt a sense of purpose. He was a human, and humans survived, even in worlds that seemed impossible. This was only the beginning. Nico stood in the grand chamber of the palace, still catching his breath from the forest ordeal. Queen Zarya's gaze did not waver. Her presence was powerful yet calm. She exuded authority and intelligence. Nico felt the weight of her scrutiny but refused to shrink. He had faced predators and a crashing ship. A staring alien queen was no different. "You have courage," Zarya said, her voice carrying a quiet authority. "But courage alone is not enough in this world. Strength without wisdom can lead to ruin. I must know if you are worthy of the trust you have earned." Nico nodded. "I understand. I will do whatever is necessary." The Queen's eyes gleamed. "Good, you will face 3 trials. They will test your mind, body, and heart. Only then will I decide your fate." Princess Arya stepped forward. "Mother, be careful. Humans are not accustomed to our ways. They may not understand your challenges." The Queen shook her head. "I am aware. That is why this human is intriguing. Let us begin." The first trial took place in a courtyard filled with alien structures and shifting platforms. Glowing symbols floated in the air, forming puzzles that seemed to rearrange themselves every few moments. "This is a test of intelligence," the Queen explained. "You must solve the puzzle to reach the center. Only then will you pass." Nico studied the symbols carefully. They were unlike any language or code he had encountered. Some symbols moved, while others changed colors in response to touch. Nico took a deep breath and began experimenting. He realized that the symbols responded to logic and sequence. Each time he aligned one correctly, another reacted. Slowly, he noticed a pattern. Step by step, he manipulated the symbols, focusing on cause and effect. Minutes passed, and the floating puzzle rearranged itself around him. Finally, with a careful adjustment, the center opened. A pedestal rose, revealing a glowing crystal. Nico reached for it, his heart racing. He had done it. The Queen's expression softened slightly, a hint of approval in her eyes. "You have thought quickly and observed carefully," she said. "Few humans could solve a puzzle of this complexity. You have passed the first trial." The second trial tested his physical abilities. The Queen led Nico to a vast arena. Its floor was smooth metal, but walls and obstacles shifted constantly. The goal was simple in description: reach the other side without being struck by moving barriers or falling into traps. Nico's instincts took over. He ran, dodged, and leaped with precision. The obstacles moved faster, some swinging like pendulums, others shooting streams of energy. He rolled under one barrier and vaulted over another. Midway, a narrow ledge appeared, floating above a pit filled with glowing liquid. One misstep and the consequences would be fatal. Nico steadied himself, measuring each jump. He balanced carefully, feeling the pulse of adrenaline and focus. When he reached the final platform, the Queen's guards nodded in quiet respect. Nico had passed the second trial, proving his agility, timing, and courage under pressure. He panted, but a small smile crossed his face. "You are strong," the Queen said. "But strength alone is not enough. The final trial will reveal the measure of your heart." The third trial was not physical or mental, but emotional. Queen Zarya led Nico to a chamber filled with illusions. Shadows moved along the walls, showing visions of conflict, suffering, and fear. One vision displayed the princess in danger, surrounded by enemies. Another showed Nico's home planet under threat. "You must make a choice," the Queen said. "Who will you save? Yourself, your home, or the princess?" Nico felt the weight of the decision. Each vision tugged at him, pulling him in different directions. He closed his eyes, thinking of what he had learned. Humans often faced impossible odds, yet they acted with integrity and courage. "I will save her," Nico said finally. "The princess. If she survives, we have a chance to protect more lives, including my own world." The shadows shifted, showing him acting bravely, shielding Arya and guiding others to safety. The Queen's eyes shone with approval. "You have chosen wisely," she said. "Courage, compassion, and wisdom are rare. Humans are often underestimated, but you prove their potential is greater than many believe." The trials complete, Nico expected to be allowed some freedom. Instead, the Queen's expression hardened. "You are not yet free to leave," she said. "Your actions have proven your worth, but the galaxy is a dangerous place. I cannot risk losing someone of your capability. You will remain here under my watch until I deem your purpose fulfilled." Nico's brow furrowed. "Stay? I cannot abandon my people, my home. I have responsibilities in my world." Queen Zarya's voice was calm but firm. "Your responsibilities are noted, human. But here, you have the chance to act in ways that could change the course of this galaxy. I will not allow your courage to be wasted. You will train, you will learn, and you will assist in defending what is ours." Princess Arya stepped closer. "Nico, she does not mean to imprison you. She sees your value. Together we can face dangers that would destroy ordinary beings." Nico hesitated, realizing the truth in her words. He had survived raiders, predators, and alien forests. He had solved impossible puzzles, leaped across shifting arenas, and faced emotional trials. If he could do all that, he could contribute to something larger. "I understand," Nico said quietly. "I will stay, but I want to help, not as a prisoner, but as an ally." The Queen's eyes softened, and a small nod indicated her acceptance. "Then you will serve as my advisor and protector. You will learn our ways, and we will learn yours. The galaxy may yet need humans more than it knows." Over the next days, Nico began to train under the Queen's guidance. He learned alien combat techniques, strategies for defense, and insights into their technology. He adapted quickly, combining human ingenuity with alien methods. Princess Arya became his companion and guide. She shared stories of her world, its traditions, and the political tensions that threatened the peace of her people. Nico listened, absorbing everything, always asking questions, always seeking to understand. One afternoon, as they practiced in the courtyard, Arya paused. "You are unlike anyone I have ever met," she said. "Other beings may fear danger, but you face it willingly. Humans may seem weak, but you carry strength of spirit. You inspire others," Nico smiled. "I just try to do what is right. I do not think about inspiring anyone. I only act," Arya laughed softly. "And yet you do. You remind us that bravery and cleverness are not limited to any one species. Perhaps humans are more capable than even our legends suggest." The queen watched from a balcony above, unseen. Her expression was unreadable, but inside she noted the bond forming between Nico and the princess. It was a small human quality: empathy, trust, and courage combined. At night, Nico stood on the palace terrace, gazing at the stars. He missed his home, yet he also felt purpose here. The galaxy was vast, full of dangers and mysteries. He could help shape its future, not just survive it. Suddenly, a message arrived from the Queen's Council. A rival faction had been spotted moving near the outer colonies. Nico read the report quickly. They were well-armed and organized, posing a serious threat. The Queen appeared beside him. "The galaxy tests us constantly, human. Are you prepared to face challenges that may endanger more than just yourself?" Nico looked out at the horizon, feeling the weight of responsibility. "I am. I will face them. I will protect your world, the princess, and everyone who cannot defend themselves." The Queen nodded, a flicker of approval in her eyes. "Then your true test begins. Your courage has brought you here, Nico. Now your choices will shape the destiny of more than just one world." For the first time, Nico understood the depth of his journey. He was no longer just a human lost on an alien planet. He was part of a story larger than he could imagine. A story of trust, courage, and the extraordinary potential of humans in the galaxy. And so, as the stars shone overhead, Nico prepared for what lay ahead. The trials of the mind, body, and heart had been only the beginning. Greater challenges awaited, and he would face them with the same determination that had brought him this far. The palace was quiet in the early morning, but Nico could feel tension in the air. Queen Zarya had summoned him to the council chamber. He walked through the glowing corridors, marveling at the alien architecture, but his mind focused on the report he had received the night before. A rival faction, long thought to be contained, was moving quickly toward the outer colonies. They were well-equipped, intelligent, and ruthless. Nico studied the data screens, showing troop movements, energy signatures, and transport ships. The numbers were large, but not unbeatable. Queen Zarya entered the chamber, her eyes sharp and commanding. "You have proven your courage, human, but courage alone will not save us. This faction threatens our people and our future. We must act swiftly." Nico nodded. "I have been thinking about their movements. They rely on brute force, speed, and fear. If we use strategy, we can counter them with fewer resources. They will not expect unconventional tactics." The Queen regarded him carefully. "Unconventional tactics?" "Yes," Nico said. "We can use terrain, traps, and misdirection. We can divide their forces and force them to make mistakes. I've seen humans use these methods effectively in war. It relies on thinking, not just strength." The Queen's expression softened slightly. "You speak boldly, human. Very well. You will lead a small group to prepare defenses. Your insight will be tested in action." Princess Arya approached, her expression a mix of excitement and worry. "Nico, be careful. These forces are dangerous. Even with your skill, the odds are against you." "I know," Nico replied, "but we can turn the odds in our favor if we act smartly. I will not let them reach the palace or harm anyone." Nico began by surveying the outer regions near the colonies. He studied the rivers, forests, cliffs, and plains. Every detail mattered. He made mental notes of choke points, narrow passes, and natural obstacles. He found places where small teams could hold off larger forces and where ambushes could be effective. He called a meeting with the Queen's elite warriors. They were strong, disciplined, and highly skilled, but rigid in their thinking. Nico explained his plan, emphasizing flexibility, unpredictability, and creative problem-solving. "Fight smart, not just hard," he told them. "Use the terrain. Make them think we are weak, then strike where they least expect it." The soldiers exchanged glances. Some were skeptical. Humans were often considered fragile, unable to survive long in alien combat. Yet they could not deny Nico's courage or his skill in past trials. Slowly they began to listen. Nico led them through simulations, showing how to set traps, use decoys, and maneuver around stronger enemies. He demonstrated using minimal resources effectively, relying on speed, timing, and coordination. The warriors began to see the value of thinking beyond tradition. Princess Arya joined them, contributing her knowledge of the terrain and enemy habits. Together, they refined the plans, balancing human ingenuity with alien precision. One evening, while scouting near a canyon, Nico noticed movement in the distance. Small scout ships moving in stealth were observing the colonies. He signaled the Queen's patrols to track them. They are testing us, he said. They want to see how prepared we are. We cannot let them discover our defenses fully. We must remain unseen until the right moment. Arya nodded. I will help coordinate the scouts. They trust me, and I know the terrain better than anyone. Nico smiled faintly. Good, we will work together. Timing will be everything. As the days passed, Nico trained the elite warriors in human-inspired tactics. They practiced ambushes, retreat strategies, and coordinated attacks. Nico emphasized observation, improvisation, and adaptability. Slowly, the soldiers began to trust his methods. The queen observed from her chambers, noting the change. Humans were often underestimated for their physical strength, but their minds were sharp, capable of finding solutions that others overlooked. Nico was proving her point. Then the attack came. It was dawn when alarms rang through the palace. Sensors detected a large fleet moving quickly toward the colonies. Nico and the elite warriors rushed to their stations. The enemy ships descended with speed and precision, but Nico was ready. He had positioned small units in hidden valleys and along cliffs. Traps were set, and signals were arranged to coordinate attacks. The rival faction expected a straightforward battle, but Nico intended to change the rules. As the first enemy ships landed, they were met with unexpected resistance. Ambushes struck from above cliffs and behind cover. Energy traps disabled their vehicles. The elite warriors following Nico's lead fought with precision and courage. Nico moved among them, directing teams, adjusting strategies, and exploiting weaknesses. The rival faction struggled to adapt. Every time they advanced, Nico's forces countered in ways they did not anticipate. Princess Arya watched from a safe position, coordinating support and relaying messages. Her admiration for Nico grew. His human instincts combined with quick thinking were turning the tide. Hours passed. The enemy regrouped, attempting to overwhelm the defenses. Nico realized that direct confrontation would be costly. He needed to force them into a trap. He led a small team to a narrow canyon where he had placed energy barriers and hidden squads. The enemy followed, confident in their strength. Nico signaled the attack. Energy barriers dropped, cutting off escape routes. Hidden squads struck from above and behind. The enemy forces were caught completely off guard. Panic spread among the rival troops. Nico's strategy, simple yet clever, worked flawlessly. The enemy suffered heavy losses and retreated in disarray. When the battle ended, the Queen's guards and Nico's units regrouped. The victory was decisive, and it had been achieved with minimal casualties on their side. Queen Zarya appeared, her eyes glowing with approval. "Human," she said, her voice calm but full of authority. "Your strategy has saved countless lives. You have proven that your courage and mind are invaluable. The galaxy will take notice of humans if more act as you do." Nico bowed slightly. "I only did what was necessary to protect your people. I did not act for praise," the Queen nodded. "Humans are remarkable in their ability to act with purpose and ingenuity. I underestimated your species. I will not make that mistake again." Later, as the sun set over the alien landscape, Nico and Princess Arya walked along the cliffs. The river below glowed with soft light reflecting the stars above. "You were incredible today," Arya said. "You risked everything to lead us to victory. I never imagined a human could be so capable," Nico shrugged. "I just think differently. I look for solutions where others see only danger. That is what humans do. We survive by thinking and adapting." Arya smiled. "Perhaps humans are more than we imagined. You inspire hope, Nico. Not just in me, but in everyone who witnessed your courage." Nico felt a sense of purpose he had never experienced before. He had entered this world by chance, but now he realized that his actions mattered. His presence was changing the outcome of conflicts, proving that humans could be more than outsiders. They could be leaders. Queen Zarya watched them from her balcony, silent and thoughtful. She recognized the bond forming between Nico and her daughter, but she also understood the greater implications. Humans were unpredictable, resourceful, and brave. If they could act as Nico did, they could tip the balance of power in the galaxy. That night, Nico reviewed the battle, studying what had gone well and what could be improved. He noted the enemy's tactics, their weaknesses, and how his strategies had exploited them. He realized that knowledge and adaptation were just as important as courage and strength. Princess Arya joined him once more, sitting quietly beside him. The Queen believes in you now, she said softly. But the galaxy is still dangerous. There are more threats, more challenges waiting for us. Nico nodded. I know, but we can face them. Humans survive in impossible situations. We adapt, we fight, and we protect those who cannot defend themselves. Arya's eyes reflected the starlight. I believe that too, and I will stand by your side. Together, we can face anything. The stars shone brightly above them, silent witnesses to the events of the day. Nico felt a sense of resolve. He was no longer just a scout or a survivor. He was part of a story larger than himself. A story of courage, strategy, and the extraordinary potential of humans in the galaxy. And as he looked toward the horizon, he knew that even greater challenges awaited. The rival faction had been defeated, but the galaxy held many secrets. Nico would face them all, not just for survival, but to prove that humans could rise above expectations and inspire hope across worlds. The morning sun cast long shadows across the palace grounds. Nico stood at the edge of the main courtyard, surveying the preparations. The rival faction had not given up after their failed assault on the colonies. Intelligence reports indicated they were now marching directly toward the palace itself. Their numbers were larger, their weapons more powerful. Every second counted. Queen Zarya's guards were on high alert, moving swiftly to man defensive positions. Soldiers checked energy shields, prepared weapons, and ran final drills. Princess Arya joined Nico, her expression serious yet determined. Nico, she said, this may be the greatest challenge we have faced. They will try everything to break our defenses. I know, Nico replied, adjusting his gear. But we can use their overconfidence against them. They expect a direct assault. We will give them chaos instead. We will make them hesitate, make them doubt their own plans. Arya nodded, trusting the human completely. She had seen his strategies work before, and she knew his courage was unmatched. Nico split the forces into small units, each with a specific task. One team would block the enemy at the main gates, using energy barriers and traps to slow their advance. Another team would flank from the sides, hidden behind cliffs and trees. Nico led a small elite force himself, ready to strike at the enemy's command center once the battle began. Remember, he said to the guards, fight smart, observe constantly, and protect each other. We are stronger when we act together. Do not underestimate them, but do not fear them either. Courage and cleverness will win this day. The palace bells rang, signaling the enemy's approach. From the distant hills, Nico could see the first waves of armored vehicles and troops moving with precision. They were confident, certain that their numbers would overwhelm the defenders. Nico signaled the first ambush. Hidden squads activated energy traps, catching enemy vehicles off guard. Sparks flew as shields overloaded, and the soldiers leaped from cover to strike at disoriented troops. Chaos spread among the attackers. Princess Arya coordinated support, sending messages through her comm network. Reinforce the flanks. Watch the cliffs. Trap them in the canyon. Nico moved swiftly among the squads, directing attacks and reinforcing weak points. The rival faction tried to adapt, but every maneuver was anticipated. Every mistake they made was exploited. Hours passed with relentless combat. Nico's strategies forced the enemy into narrow corridors, where their numbers became a disadvantage. Hidden squads struck from above, cutting off reinforcements. Traps disabled key vehicles, slowing the enemy's advance. Nico's combination of human intuition and alien technology kept the attackers off balance. At one point, a massive group of enemy warriors broke through a barrier and charged toward the palace gates. Nico acted quickly. He led his elite force to intercept them, using speed and agility to divide the group. With precise strikes, they drove the attackers back. Nico's courage inspired the soldiers around him, who fought with renewed determination. Princess Arya watched from the palace walls, her heart pounding. She had seen Nico face impossible odds before, but today he was not just fighting for survival. He was leading an entire defense. His human spirit had become a symbol of hope for everyone present. The battle escalated as the enemy brought in larger war machines designed to break through defenses. Nico analyzed their movement patterns and realized that a direct attack would be costly. He needed a decisive move. He signaled a coordinated retreat toward a narrow canyon near the palace. The enemy, confident in their strength, followed. As they entered, hidden energy barriers blocked their escape routes. Elite squads struck from elevated positions, disabling vehicles and cutting off reinforcements. The enemy panicked. Their advantage in numbers was nullified by the traps and ambushes. Nico led the final strike, targeting the enemy commander. He moved with speed, leaping across platforms, dodging energy blasts, and striking with precision. Within moments, the commander was captured and the enemy's morale collapsed. Queen Zarya and her guards watched from the palace balcony, impressed by the humans' tactics. She realized that Nico's courage and ingenuity had turned a desperate situation into a decisive victory. After hours of battle, the enemy retreated in disarray. Nico's forces regrouped, tending to the wounded and repairing damaged defenses. The palace grounds were battered, but the defenders had prevailed. Princess Arya approached Nico, her eyes filled with admiration. "You did it," she said. "You saved the palace and everyone in it. I have never seen anyone fight with such courage and skill." Nico shook his head. "We all fought together. I only guided them. Every soldier here contributed to this victory. Humans are not the only ones capable of courage," Arya smiled. "But your leadership made the difference. You inspired everyone to fight with purpose. You proved that humans can be more than outsiders in this galaxy." Nico looked around at the palace, the guards and the recovering soldiers. He felt a deep sense of fulfillment. His journey had brought him here, to a place where his abilities mattered and where he could make a real difference. Queen Zarya stepped down from her balcony, her presence commanding attention. "Human," she said, her voice calm but powerful. "You have proven yourself beyond any doubt. Your courage, intelligence, and leadership have saved my people. You have shown that humans can be a force to be respected in this galaxy." Nico bowed slightly. "I did what I had to do. That is all any of us can do." The queen's gaze softened. "You have more than courage. You have wisdom, and you act with integrity. That is rare among all species. You will remain here, not as a guest but as an advisor and protector. Your human perspective has value beyond imagination." Princess Arya stepped closer to Nico, smiling. "You have earned your place here. Together we will face any threat that comes our way." Nico felt a sense of purpose he had never known. He had come to this planet by chance, faced impossible dangers, and now he was part of something greater. His courage and human ingenuity had earned the respect of one of the most powerful beings in the galaxy. In the days that followed, Nico worked with the Queen and her council to strengthen defenses and plan for future threats. He trained soldiers, shared human tactics, and learned more about alien technology. He adapted quickly, combining human creativity with alien precision. Princess Arya remained his close ally, offering guidance and support. Together they built strategies, trained soldiers, and prepared for the challenges ahead. Nico's presence inspired confidence, not only among the warriors but also among the citizens of the planet. One evening, as they watched the sun set over the palace, Arya spoke softly. "Nico, you have changed everything. Humans are no longer outsiders here. You have shown that courage, intelligence, and heart can shape the destiny of worlds." Nico smiled faintly. "I only acted when I had to. Humans survive by thinking, adapting, and protecting those who cannot defend themselves. That is what I have done." Arya's eyes reflected the fading sunlight. "And that is why you will remain here. Your presence is more than skill. It is hope." Nico looked at the stars above, feeling the weight of responsibility and the strength of purpose. He had faced impossible odds, but he had not only survived, he had led, inspired, and protected. The galaxy was vast, full of dangers, but he knew that humans could rise to meet them no matter how impossible they seemed. Queen Zarya watched from her balcony, her eyes calm but thoughtful. She understood that Nico's courage and intelligence were rare among humans, and yet he had proven that humanity could be a force to be respected across galaxies. His actions had shown her that strength, strategy, and heart combined could achieve what mere power alone could not. That night, Nico reviewed the battle, analyzing every decision, every maneuver, and every outcome. He made notes for improvement and considered the possibilities of future threats. He realized that knowledge, courage, and adaptability were equally important. Princess Arya joined him quietly, her presence comforting. "Tomorrow we continue our preparations," she said. "The galaxy is dangerous, but we can face it together." Nico nodded. "We will. Humans survive and adapt even in the most difficult situations. I have seen that in myself and in all of you. Together we can meet any challenge." The stars shimmered above, silent witnesses to the events of the day. Nico felt a deep sense of determination. He was no longer just a human lost on an alien planet. He was a protector, a leader, and a symbol of courage. And as the night deepened, he knew that even greater challenges awaited. The galaxy was vast and its dangers were many, but Nico would face them all, proving that humans could rise above expectation and inspire hope across worlds. The palace was calm, but Nico could feel the tension in the air. The enemy had been defeated, yet the galaxy was not without danger. Queen Zarya called him to the grand chamber. Nico entered, careful to bow as a sign of respect. "Human," the queen said, her voice calm yet commanding, "your actions have proven invaluable. You have saved my daughter, defended the palace, and inspired our people. You have shown that humans are more capable than even I imagined. Yet now you must make a choice." Nico's brow furrowed. "A choice, Your Majesty?" The queen stepped closer. "You have fought courageously and wisely. Your heart is strong. You may return to your world where your people await, or you may remain here as part of our court, protecting our people and advising me. The decision is yours." Nico looked down, considering the weight of her words. Returning home meant safety, familiarity, and the life he had always known. Remaining meant responsibility, danger, and the unknown. But he also understood the impact he could have here. Humans had often been underestimated in this galaxy. His presence could change perceptions forever. Princess Arya appeared at the side of the queen, her eyes bright. "Nico, whatever choice you make, I will support you. But I believe that you can do more here than anywhere else. Your courage has shown us the potential of humans. You can protect more lives here than you ever could alone." Nico sighed, feeling the gravity of the moment. "I never expected to come here and face royalty, let alone lead armies. Yet, I feel like this is where I am meant to be, not for glory, but to protect, to guide, and to make a difference." Queen Zarya studied him silently, her expression thoughtful. After a long pause, she nodded. "Then you will remain. You will not be a guest, but a protector and advisor. Your courage, intelligence, and human spirit will serve as a bridge between our worlds." In the following days, Nico adjusted to his new role. He worked closely with the queen and her council, advising on strategies, defenses, and diplomacy. His human perspective offered new solutions, combining practicality with creativity. He trained soldiers, teaching them not only tactics, but also how to think and adapt in unpredictable situations. The Queen's forces had always relied on strength and tradition, but under Nico's guidance they began to see the value of innovation and flexibility. Princess Arya remained his companion and friend. She taught him about her world's culture, history, and politics. In return, Nico shared his own experiences from Earth and human tactics for survival and problem-solving. Together they created strategies that honored both human and alien strengths. One afternoon, Nico and Arya walked along the palace terraces, overlooking the luminous river and forests below. "You have changed everything," Arya said softly. "The Queen trusts you completely and the people look to you for guidance. You have proven that humans are more than legends." "You are proof," Nico smiled faintly. "I just try to do what is right. Humans survive by thinking, adapting, and protecting those who cannot defend themselves. That is all I have done here as well." Arya's eyes reflected admiration and respect. "You inspire more than I can describe. You remind us that courage and ingenuity are not limited to one species. Humans can truly rise to meet the greatest challenges." Nico felt a quiet sense of fulfillment. He had arrived on this planet by chance, yet he had become a part of its future. His actions had saved lives, built trust, and created hope. The Queen called a council meeting to address lingering threats across the galaxy. Nico stood alongside her, speaking confidently and clearly. He proposed new defense strategies combining human ingenuity with alien technology. "The galaxy is dangerous," Nico said, "but we can turn that danger into an advantage. We must anticipate threats, adapt quickly, and trust in the courage of those willing to fight. Humans are proof that even when the odds seem impossible, strategy and determination can succeed." Queen Zarya nodded. "Your words carry weight, human. They remind us that intelligence and heart are as powerful as strength. Your presence has changed the way we approach the galaxy, and your contributions will echo for generations." The council members looked at Nico with respect. Some had doubted him at first, seeing only a human in a foreign world. Now they recognized the value of his insight, his courage, and his determination. Princess Arya placed a hand on his shoulder. We are stronger together, Nico. You are more than a protector. You are a symbol of hope and unity. The galaxy will remember this day. Weeks passed, and the palace and colonies flourished under Nico's guidance. Trade routes were secured, defenses strengthened, and alliances reinforced. Humans and aliens began to see each other differently. Stories of Nico's courage spread across worlds, inspiring admiration and respect. One evening, Nico stood alone on the palace balcony, gazing at the stars. He thought of Earth, his home, and the people he had left behind. He knew he would never forget them, yet he also felt that his purpose was here. He could do more, protect more, and inspire more in this galaxy than he ever could alone. Princess Arya appeared silently beside him. "Thinking about home?" she asked. Nico nodded. "I wonder what my people would think if they knew a human had fought alongside an alien queen and protected her daughter. They might be surprised, but I know they would understand the choice I made. Courage and purpose can take us far from home, and sometimes that is where we are needed most." Arya smiled. "You have always been brave, Nico. Staying here was never about fear or obligation. It was about recognizing where you could make the greatest difference. That is why you are human, and why humans are remarkable." Nico felt a sense of peace he had never known. He had faced predators, rogue fleets, and impossible challenges. He had saved lives, built trust, and proved that humans could rise above expectations. Now he had found a purpose greater than survival. He was shaping the future of a world and perhaps even the galaxy. The Queen called Nico to her chambers one last time before he settled fully into his new role. She studied him carefully, her gaze sharp yet approving. "Human," she said. "You have proven that courage, intelligence, and integrity are universal. You have shown that humans can inspire, protect, and lead. Your choice to remain has altered the course of history on this planet. The galaxy will not forget your actions." Nico bowed slightly. "I only did what I thought was right. I did not seek recognition. I only acted when it mattered most." Queen Zarya's eyes softened. "Recognition is not what matters, impact is. You have left a mark on this world that will last for generations, and you have shown us that humans are capable of greatness even among the stars." Nico felt the weight of her words. For the first time, he understood that courage and wisdom could transcend worlds. His journey had begun with instinct and necessity, but it had led to purpose and respect. Princess Arya entered the room, her eyes shining. "Nico, you are more than a protector. You are a symbol of hope, unity, and courage. We are fortunate to have you by our side." Nico smiled faintly. "I will do my best to honor that trust. Humans survive by helping others, by adapting, and by facing the impossible. That is what I intend to continue doing." The Queen and Princess Arya nodded in agreement, and for the first time, Nico felt that he truly belonged. Days turned into weeks, and Nico became a fixture in the palace. He trained soldiers, advised the Queen, and helped Princess Arya develop plans for the future. Humans and aliens began to see each other as allies, inspired by Nico's courage and leadership. One evening, as the stars shimmered overhead, Nico and Arya walked through the gardens. The luminous flowers reflected in the streams below, and the wind carried the scent of the alien forest. "You have changed everything, Nico," Arya said softly. "Your presence reminds everyone that courage, intelligence, and heart are more powerful than fear or prejudice. You have proven that humans can inspire hope across worlds." Nico looked at the stars and then back at Arya. "I came here by chance, faced impossible challenges, and discovered a purpose greater than myself. Humans survive by facing the impossible. I have seen that in myself and in everyone who fought beside me. Together we can protect this world and many others." Arya smiled, placing a hand on his arm. "And together we will. You are not just a human here. You are part of our world, our family, and our future. The galaxy will remember what you have done." Nico felt a sense of completion. He had faced predators, fleets, and impossible choices. He had protected the princess, defended the palace, and inspired respect and hope. He was no longer a visitor, no longer just a human. He was a leader, a protector, and a symbol of courage in a galaxy that had underestimated humanity for too long. As the stars shone above, Nico understood that his journey had only just begun. Greater challenges would come, but humans could rise to meet them, and he would continue to lead, protect, and inspire wherever he was needed.